Hi folks, welcome back to Math with Captain Rod. Here's the next video in the sequence on, I think I'm still in section 2.3 here. So there is a picture on your notes, looks something like this. There's some sort of function that looks like this. Some important points here. This point, based on the picture, it looks like that's at 1, 1 to me. This point right here is also an important one, I think, for this discussion. And based on the picture, I would say that that's 5 to the right, and I think that's 3 up. So I'm going to call that the point 5, 3 for this video. There are 3 pictures going down vertically on the page. I'm just going to use this one to do what I need to do here. All right, so example 1, it says write an equation for reflection over the y-axis. So if we have some sort of function, f of x, the new function g of x equals minus f of x would be this guy reflected about the x-axis. Basically, you're just putting a minus sign in front of it. Then it says to sketch a graph. I'll go ahead and do this. I'm going to do this in green. So this point right here would come down here. 3, 5 would go to the point, I'm sorry, 5, 3 would go to the point 5 minus 3. And all of these points would do that. So this is getting a little tough to sketch, but maybe something like this there. So this green graph is a reflection of this graph about the x-axis. Mathematically, that's accomplished with a minus sign. Quick example of that. All right, so the function y equals x squared. We know, hopefully you've seen enough graphs, looks like this. I like to call that the happy function. I think of it as an infinite smile. Y equals minus x squared, which would be minus f of x, if this is f of x, is a reflection about the x-axis, right? All right, let's get rid of that. All right, next one, it says write an equation for reflection over the x-axis. So the new function, it basically works like this. If the minus sign is on the x, meaning that we change the sign on the x, so we got f of minus x. That gives you a reflection about the y-axis. So this point right here, which was the point 1, 1, I'm going to do this one in blue. This is going to go to the point minus 1, 1. This point 5, 3 is going to go to the point minus 5, 3. All these points would actually shift. Just doing the endpoints, giving us a sketch that looks kind of like that. Right, so this one right here is minus f of x. This one in blue is f of minus x, meaning that you're changing the sign on the input. Example 3 says suppose you reflect this over the x-axis and then the y-axis. What is the result? All right, well, first of all, here is our reflection about the x-axis, and this point right here, remember, was the point, let's see, 1, 1, this is now 1 minus 1. This one is the point 5 minus 3. So now if we do a reflection about the x-axis, we're to this graph, and then if we do a reflection about the y-axis, this point will now come over to here. This would be the point, I'm going to do this in red. This is now the point minus 1, minus 1. This one reflected about the y-axis here, that's going to come over to here. This is now the point minus 5, minus 3. And this graph will look something like this. Now, as far as how would we get there mathematically, this new function here, I don't know, we'll call it z of x, you can call it anything you want, right? Is coming from this one, first by a reflection, so that's going to be minus f of x, and by changing the sign on the input. So like that. So it's going to be minus f of minus x. Would take this function and do this to it. Right? So it says, what is the result? Suppose you reflect this over the axis, then the y-axis. What is the result? I'm not sure what they're looking for in the notes as far as like what is the result, but I don't know. The result is that this point right here, 1, 1, goes to minus 1, minus 1, and 5, 3 goes to minus 5, minus 3. And then you can draw the picture. So that should be enough for that page. I think I'll just call that a day on this video and start a new one. Have a great day.